Welcome back. Well, the markets at this point in time still a little under the weather. It's 0.1 down now. Anuj would say, I told you so. The market's not been able to hold on to any kind of gains or make any gains even after some relative lull you see in the Chinese market. So the markets were not falling from the 8,500 mark, it appears, because China was falling, but also because 8,500 still proves to be a big resistance level, and ahead of the earnings season perhaps the market has more worries on its head. Exactly to analyze that, we have our next guest, Nischal Maheshwari, Co-Head Institutional Equities and Head of Research at Edelweiss Securities. Good morning, Nischal. Good to have you on the show. Is it fair to say that the earnings season should be a spot of worry for this markets? Or is your opinion that the market may get some minor pleasant surprises?
So if I sum up the whole result season, actually, I think relatively from the last 2 or 3 quarters, it will be better.
Okay.
So, and I'm using the word relatively.
Okay, now then, give us some idea of what, in terms of either sales growth or revenue growth, what was the Q4 picture, what might be the Q1 picture?
So, last quarter you had a negative sales growth basically, and this quarter you're expecting a flat kind of a number.
Okay.
On the EBITDA front also there was a decline last quarter, as well as on the PAT front there was a decline. This quarter you are expecting around 3% EBITDA growth and 9% PAT growth. So I think relatively it is better basically. You are seeing all the numbers on the economic side basically. I think especially in this current quarter, you are seeing some of the sectors which are doing better is capital goods, which is a pleasant surprise. And autos, especially on the domestic front, I think that these are the two sectors which are actually contributing to this growth. Again, the private sector banks continue to do pretty well. So I think there are these few sectors which are actually doing better. And the sectors which are pulling it down, they are the obvious ones. You have metals and mining. You have got cement, which is still doing not very well. So these are a few sectors. Basically, real estate is another one. So I think these 2-3 sectors are most obvious, which are pulling it down still.
Okay. Hi, Nischal. Just to talk about autos for a bit, it's interesting the top picks in that space are M&M and Tata Motors that you have, but it seems, difficult to expect Tata Motors to deliver a good performance this time because of all the issues in China. What is your own expectation from that company and the stock?
Yeah, I think the current quarter is going to take a bit of a dip basically because of these concerns on the China front as far as Tata Motors is concerned. But given the valuation, we are quite positive, and we believe that the volumes and the production problem which Tata Motors had, I think those things are going to get out of the way in the coming quarters. And given valuations are favorable, I think it's still a good bet actually to look at this stock. Mahindra & Mahindra, on the other hand, basically, again, valuation is very, very favorable on your basis. Plus, if the June monsoons have been good, we are keeping our fingers crossed for July. If that happens well, I believe tractors is one division basically which is going to start doing well for them. On the UV front, basically, they have got a lineup of quite a few new launches. Mostly which is going to happen in the current quarter and the current and the third quarter, and that is going to surprise the market. Okay. So I think these are our 2 top picks out there, but we do like Maruti a lot also.
Okay. Well, let me put it this way. In the Nifty space first, I'll come to the mid-caps in a bit. Where is it that the market is probably underestimating earnings? Probably there is a valuation gap.
I think you will see some upsides coming in Reliance. I think that is one stock basically which market is going to get a big positive surprise.
Okay.
There could be upsides in Coal India. And I think more or less others would be more or less in shape actually.
Okay. One more sector the market will be watching very closely this earnings season is the consumer space, because you know stocks like Dabur, Jubilant FoodWorks, Britannia are all hitting fresh highs every day. What is the expectation in terms of earnings from this sector, and what are your top picks in this space?
So in consumer sector, basically I think the top line growth we are expecting around 8 to 9% out there, and the bottom line is around 10 to 11% kind of a growth for the consumer. The top picks in that space continues to remain as Dabur and Imami out there, and we do like Lever also.
Okay. As always, I think you spoke about capital goods probably showing a bit of a upturn. Now, capital goods is quite a basket. Where do you think the market might be pleasantly surprised?
I think in capital goods, you may see surprises coming in especially on the industrial front.
Okay.
So that is where we see that the demand has started picking up. Both you see whether it is in the import front or whether it is in the domestic front. Basically, I believe that the demand is going to be better than what people are expecting, and that's where you're going to see the
so that would be the
happening.
L&T variety, KEI. I mean, which one?
Yes, L&T, KEC, KEI, Crompton Greaves. I think some of these companies will definitely be benefited out of that.
Okay,
Power still continues to languish.
Okay.
Okay. We were just speaking with the management of Jubilant FoodWorks less than 15 minutes ago, and they pointed out that they don't see a double-digit growth, at least for the next 2 to 4 quarters, in their same-store sales. You have Jubilant FoodWorks as one of your top picks. Despite the valuation run-up, would you not be cautious?
Yes, and I would be cautious as far as valuation is concerned, but our comfort comes from the fact that the economic recovery is on the way, and the first recovery which we see is urban recovery actually rather than rural. And given that Jubilant is largely a urban play basically, I think that is one of the sectors one of the stocks which is going to maybe surprise on the earnings front also. Okay. So that's where our comfort comes from basically as far as Jubilant is concerned.
Okay, IT, I guess that's going to be the biggest stock or sector in people's minds today. What's the take in TCS itself? Our own poll has thrown up 4% revenue growth. What will be your expectation and takeaway from TCS?
So we are slightly ahead of the street there, and we are expecting around 5% kind of a growth. We have historically seen that TCS has been ahead of the market both in terms of execution and in terms of growth, and we continue to believe that TCS will still be outperforming the industry. Again, I think if you look at it from a longer term point of view, I believe that the way though TCS is the largest company, still the nimble-footedness which it keeps on showing, I think that's amazing. So they are still the largest guys basically as far as number of people are concerned on the digital space, which is the emerging technology. So we continue to believe that TCS will better the industry growth rates.
Okay, just one final question before we let you go, Nischal. One of your top picks in the energy space is BPCL, and rightfully so. That stock has been a phenomenal performer in the last many weeks and months. But this quarter's earnings, how good do you expect it to be, and how much of it is already in the price?
So I think BPCL, I often do not remember the numbers basically how it's going to be doing the current quarter. But our longer term call still remains to be on BPCL for the reason, 2 reasons. One is basically in terms of BPCL, the margins, especially on the retail front, are going to be improving for BPCL. And the second thing which we are looking out there is a possible re-rating on the EP space, basically. Okay. So those 2 things basically is going to be positive for them.
All right, Nischal, we'll let you go on that. Thank you very much for laying out the terrain of the earnings season for us and preparing us for it. The first one, of course, will hit us at 3:30 or maybe a little after 3:30 today, the TCS numbers. And you will be able to catch the management on our channel tomorrow, starting from the MD and CEO.